I thought I'd share a couple of things that I found for replacing this serpentine belt on this 2005 GMC Canyon. I watched some videos on the internet, and I was hoping that I could help out with some ways of getting the belt to go back on without struggling with the tensioner and that sort of thing. Today I'm going to be using this. It's about 14.5 inches long when it's extended. Quite favorable of this Canadian Tire 3/8 drive. It has a flex head on it, and when you press the bar there, you can get it down to, I think it's 11.5 inches. So yeah, it's really handy to be able to extend it when you need some more leverage or length or whatever, or if you need it shorter, just to shorten it down. As a tip, I got this through Rock Auto at rockauto.com. They delivered it for, including this belt, for half the price that GM wanted it. So you'd be surprised. I would definitely check out getting an original one. And here is a drawing of the layout, which is this thing that I downloaded online or something like that, or got it at GM. I can't remember. It was a number of years ago when I did my serpentine belt before. But this is the diagram that's on the airbox. So that'll be a quick way to make sure you're putting it on properly. GM part number, or the AC Delco number for the correct serpentine belt. If you have an air conditioning system on your vehicle, then this is the correct number. AC Delco number 126-11636, and then GM number is the same. So yeah, just verify that you have air conditioning on your vehicle, which I think they all do. I'm not sure, but that's one question that they ask to verify the right belt length. The other thing, when I was on the internet, I found out there was a great video that talked about this being obviously the belt. The way to see if the belt tensioner, which is that one right there, if it's got enough tension and it's still performing properly, is to grab the belt. So grab the belt, and apparently if you can take this thing and twist it 90 degrees, so basically perpendicular to where it's right now, and it doesn't want to go further than 90 degrees, it means that the tension on the belt is good. So I've only got one hand, but if you get in there and stretch it enough at 90 degrees and it seems like it's holding its own pretty well, then that would be a pretty good indication that the belt tensioner doesn't need replacement. Yeah, so I looked on Rock Auto, and I was just curious to see how much they cost, and on Rock Auto it was about $76 for the belt tensioner for replacing that if it was ever necessary. So here's the ratchet in there, the 3/8 ratchet, with the handle extended to 14.5 inches. Seems to be the ideal tool in here. I know not everybody's going to have one, but it really is a great tool to have in the arsenal. So one thing I noticed, this hose that's here for the air conditioning, it's flexible to some extent. There's the little bracket right here that holds it in. So if you want to get a little bit more leverage, you can move this thing down and out of the way a little bit more, and then because the head is a ratcheting locking style, and I've got it set, you know, you set it either in the forward or the reverse position, of course, in order to lever it up. If I push this down a little bit more, it means the handle can go down and click onto one more level of ratchet there. So that means that I have more room to push it up. So there it is operating. And so what I want you to see, it's not hugely necessary, but that roller that's down there, when I lever it, it gets closer to the larger wheel, so it sort of would force it close to the larger wheel, and steel would be together, so you couldn't get the belt off. You can see when the belt, when it's up, there's more distance to get that belt off. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if you lever it, then you get in there with your hand and get the top off. So move this belt off first, and once that's off, then of course you can go and lever this back and the roller will come up. And so once this is off and loose, then you can pull this away from its lodging and pull it out between here and here. So I just started getting the belt off. So yeah, the top of it is off in this section right here. And so I'm gonna go around, and I just want to suggest that it's a good opportunity to look at these rollers. I don't know if there's supposed to be bearings and that sort of thing in some of these rollers. So, you know, there's meant to be a little bit of play forward and back in this one, but it's a good time to go and spin them, see if you hear any weird sounds or any movement or any play. Do the same thing with the belt tensioner, pulley. You know, there's the alternator right here, and you know, these various parts down in here. Just spin them if you can. Make sure there's no strange things going on before you put the belt back on. Just as a note, there's 3 of these pulleys that are not grooved. So this one's smooth, and that one right there is smooth. You can see that the alternator has a groove on it, and trying to get my hand out. The other one that is smooth is right there, the biggest wheel. Oh, no. Sorry, the belt tensioner has a smooth surface. So the belt has a smooth side and a grooved side. So, of course, the smooth side of the belt goes to the smooth side of the pulley, if that's what it's called. And I'm going to do something a little different, because I saw a lot of people that were struggling to put this belt back on in place. And so someone, I read a comment, said use tape to hold it where it is. And I'm thinking I'm going to try that. And I'm going to, before this old belt comes off, I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to put some tape. I recommend this blue tape, I believe. The green tape, painter's tape, doesn't have the same amount of hold. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to put the belt right there. Maybe I can grab this tape. I have the tape all That's the top of this thing. It's in the way. I'm gonna have it all pre-ready to get this tape, you know, 4-inch pieces of tape, whatever. And I'll have 2 hands, so I won't be doing this crap. And I'm just gonna go like this. Press it down, hold it there. And I believe from what I've been looking at that I wanna start right where I'm starting right now. Don't wanna start putting it on over here on this side. So I'll just update you later to make sure that that's correct. And then I'm gonna go and feed it down where you can see there. Feed it downwards, just the way it came off, you know, that's the way it looks. So, you know, that's where I had the tape right there. I'm gonna tape it on. I'm gonna feed it down around here in this section first, come up and around here, you know, and then I'm gonna, you know, put some tape to basically, you know, as tightly as I can hold it where it is. And then my hands will be somewhat free, and then I'm gonna continue around here and up, and I guess that's the last point right there. I guess I'll find out. But yeah, definitely gonna try this tape thing. All right, just an update. So based on what I'm finding is this is the area you want to start feeding the belt with a new belt. The reason being that, you know, this is down lower away from your arms, and these 2 wheels are close together. So if you can start feeding the belt through here, don't worry about this side over here. So feed it up and along here. As I was saying in the other part of the video, tape it, start taping it there, feed it down here. This will just sort of be loose, and that's okay. Feed it up here, tape it up here. And then, you know, once you get that far, you'll come back here, feed it up between this tight area and here, feed it on to this section, and this, there's the little hole right there where my finger is. That's where the 3/8 drive goes in there to lever up this pulley tensioner, belt tensioner. So as I was saying, when it's not being used by the 3/8 drive, it's actually as far away from this wheel as it can get. So feed that in there, and then of course this ratcheting 3/8 is still going to be attached in here as it is right here. And and then finally, once it's looped up here, you'll be able to grab your 3/8 drive, put pressure on this, it'll pull this down out of the way so that obviously there's a straighter angle and there's more room for this belt, and then you can feed it up over top of here. Just make sure when you're putting this on, because there's the ribs, the grooves that want to fit over top of this, and of course it's the last step that you want to make sure that your ratchet is fed over as far as it can be, which is obviously all the way up. And keep holding there. If you have a buddy helping you, that would be great, but because you have to use your other hand to get it over top of this ridge right here and feed it in there. And you don't really want to struggle, of course, because if you let go on this when the belt is just sitting halfway on, then you know you're potentially putting pressure on the groove belts and stuff like that. You don't want to do. I mean, they're strong, but you know, technically speaking, you want to get it sitting on there all straight before you let go of this. So a second pair of hands is helpful. All right, the belt is installed. Just a couple things. I put tape in 2 spots. Was helpful. That's all that was needed. You know, right here at the beginning, and then right here at the top. So as I was saying before, what I did when I took this big loop of the new belt is I brought it in as it was, you know, shaped like this, pushed it down and started folding it down, pushed it down, looped it around here, fed it around this side, looped it around here, you know, kept on going up and around, got it in place up here and put the tape on. Like I said, I put tape here originally to hold it in there. And then once that's up there and being held in place by the tape, I just continued down along here, fed it up in here, and along to here. And basically, because the belt tensioner had pressure on it, it was sort of sitting like this. So this is the area here where you feed it up at the last moment to get it on and complete the installation. So you'll have to have the 3/8 ratchet in that hole right there and pressing with one hand to lever the pulley while you grab with the other hand and feed it up over here and get it on there. And that would complete the job. It's a lot easier, of course, than what I made it sound like, but I just wanted it to be detailed so that all the information would be in one video. I did spin all the pulleys in there that I could. You know, I did spin this one. Had a little bit of noise. It wasn't terrible, like a little bit of a sound. Had a slight little wobble, which I noticed when the vehicle was on. I could see a wobble here, and so now I know that it's because, you know, on this side of it, it was stable. It was on the back side of it where it looks like the mill was out or something like that. It was sort of wobbling more, even though, you know, I grabbed it in my hands and I verified that there wasn't any play in it. It was just a misshapen pulley on that side. And this one's attached to the truck, so this won't turn over unless your vehicle motor is on, you know. And I went in here and spun the air conditioning and the alternator, you know, and these pulleys and that sort of stuff, and everything was good.